You are listening to the Coinist podcast.
Let's get into the good stuff. The bull market and this run, you joked about that meme that was on, gosh, was that on Reddit? The person that predicted we'd be at 16K, and everyone was saying, "Oh, we didn't make it to 16K. This is brutal. Maybe it's a bear market again. We've now pulled back from 14K. I don't think it looks so bad." But you talked about, look, we'll see 16K in due time. You're not making the prediction. You're just saying, look longer term. Don't be so worried about the shorter term. One of the things that has supported people's confidence that we will get back to numbers like that is this China narrative. What are your initial thoughts before we dive in and pick apart some of the things there? What are your thoughts on Xi Jinping announcing, look, blockchain's an opportunity, China needs to be in this? What does that mean to you?
So honestly, I was quite surprised that he said President Xi Jinping said that so quickly, and I was in Russia at the time, and some people were asking me, and I was commenting that Mr. Putin would probably do it first, but that came out of a little bit out of left field. But the environment actually in China is pretty positive for blockchain overall for the last few years. In 2017, China issued a memo. They don't really want exchanges to operate in China,
Yeah.
but they are always pro technology, pro blockchain. So, and I think given the fact that the country's president publicly saying that we need to do this, you can see that China's interesting. China is very centralized, and President Xi Jinping is probably one of the most powerful presidents in China's history. So when he says something like that, there's a lot of influence. Now every company, every bank, every financial institution, every internet fintech company, they're looking to do something blockchain now. So the fact that there's kind of a green light on blockchain means that people will spend time. There's like 1.4 billion people will start learning about blockchain, understand what it is. So I think that's really, really positive for our industry. But also at the same time, I want to be clear that China did not say anything about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I think China's mentality is let's push blockchain technology. The central bank is going to issue a digital currency. Let's promote that. I'm not sure how well that will now work, but I think for me, the more choices people have, the better. So typically, I think any adoption into blockchain, even though they're pushing a centralized currency, I think that still educates a large number of people. So I think that's super positive for us, and I think the market price have reflect that.
Yeah, one of those things that I didn't consider, and you touched on this. I talked to another exchange owner based over there in Hong Kong, and he was talking about just by Xi Jinping saying that it now gives the green light of the government to pretty much invest in all these companies. I think they made their first investment in an actual Bitcoin company with BitPi, right? So even though they didn't say Bitcoin specifically, it now, things are going to be subsidized. You have the green light. Companies are incentivized to kind of be in that behavior. I remember not too long ago, I think this was on Laura Shin's podcast, you had to leave China, or you chose to leave strategically with Binance, right? Wasn't part of Binance based in Beijing or China back then? Can you walk us through that? I mean, that it's a much different time now, right? Where it's welcoming blockchain, probably welcoming Binance.
Sure. We started in 2017 in Shanghai. So we had a small team in Shanghai back then, and then China issued a memo saying they do not recommend exchanges to run in the country. So a number of exchanges shut down.
Yeah.
A number of exchanges moved out of China. We're one of the first. We actually moved all of our infrastructure out of China a week before that announcement came out. So that was a little bit tough for our business, but actually we actually benefited from that a little bit as well, to be honest, because we're based in China. We moved out, we didn't shut down, and we had a very strong reputation in China. That actually helped us to gain some of the users that were leaving the other platforms. But I think today, I think. The message so far is that the blockchain technology is promoted. So all the blockchain projects, like guys who are doing like blockchains, like I don't know, faster, better blockchains. Those projects like Neo, those projects are going. The price is going back up quite a bit.
Sure.
The fact that a bank invested in BitPi, which is actually a Bitcoin wallet company, you can't really separate the two, right? So if you want to understand, if you want to have strong teams in blockchain, most of them have something to do, or their product have something to do with Bitcoin at a minimum, probably plus other cryptocurrencies.
Yep.
So so I think this is a very positive thing for our industry. I think there will be more legit investments, and all the VCs are looking at this space again, where for the last year or so they kind of moved away from our space a little bit. So I think all the money will, a lot of the money will pull back in.
One of the things, and then we'll move on from China and focus more on the derivatives, which were, like I said, a long shot last time we talked. So I'm pretty interested to get your perspective there. But one more thing with China and with Asia, how much of your business is still Asia, right? You've been focusing on that region for a while. I know that BitMEX, when I talked to Arthur, he kind of said that's one of our main regions. And I don't think that here over in the West, we understand that too much. How much of your volumes are made up by Asia? How much of your trader base is there?
I think a fairly large majority. I think a fairly large majority, to be honest. Most people don't understand. Most people still think that the Western U.S. Markets are the largest, but there are a number of things that are larger in China or in Asia specifically overall. I mean, even Japan was very big on trading when they first recognized Bitcoin as a currency, as a legal currency,
Yeah.
and Singapore is very progressive in terms of these regulations on cryptocurrency. It's very open, very clear, very cooperative. So a lot of action is happening in China or in Asia. And then if you look at mining, most of the mining power comes from China as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Asia is actually a very, very active atmosphere. So whereas I think there are some there are more restrictions, or the pace of change is slower in some of the Western countries. So Asia is moving really most regulators or most guys I talk to in Asia, they want to grab this. They see this as an opportunity to improve their fintech industry rapidly. So they're spending a lot of money. They're spending a lot of energy on it.
Yo, just popping up to say thank you so much for tuning into the show. I really do appreciate all of your attention. I don't take it for granted. You guys make the show worth doing. If you listen on iTunes or Spotify, or you watch here on YouTube, remember to hit subscribe. I used to never hit that button, but hit it because it will give you a notification when I have a new hedge fund or venture capital firm, or I have an analyst on where the market's going, or an exchange, so you understand what you're buying and selling. I don't want you to miss these conversations. So hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra generous, want to get the word out, leave me a comment here on YouTube or drop a rating on iTunes. I cannot say thank you enough for those of you who do that. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, move slow, trade well, and I'll see you guys soon.